What's up, y'all? I'm Little Ming, and today I'm going to show you our new, or at least will be new, robot. So the reason I'm showing you this is because we're gonna destroy it soon. So that means we're probably gonna take it apart, and I have some reasons for that. But first, let me show you. So this is a pretty big robot, as you can see. It barely fits within the zone, and you can't even put it sideways anymore, which is slightly a bit of a problem, especially for those who want to start early with, a ball in and stay like that and immediately go to the ball. Unfortunately, our robot is too big for that, and that's maybe one of the reasons we're going to change the robot. Alright, so aside from that, before I even dive into anything, I'm going to show you some robot drovers. So as you can see, the robot is very slow, and that's a big problem because in this game it's a lot about speed, control, and utility of your mechanism and how. So as I drive, I'm going to explain to you a few mechanics of it. First of all, you can see that there's the intake, super simple. It's connected to a chain on the side, you can see it, and basically it's very simple. It's just I believe it's a 60. If you look down here, you'll see it's I think it's a 40 gear to a 12 gear, and that means it's around a ratio of 4:1, and that means we're prioritizing speed, and that's because we have a really big rubber band roller, and that allows us to take big balls. So that's the intake mechanism, super simple. Now, the reason we decided to put the motor for the intake at the back here is because, well, that leaves the center of mass at the back, making it slightly easier to control, considering that we have a 6-wheel base. Now, actually, let's move on to our base. Wait, let me try this without breaking the robot. You can see here we have 6 wheels. They are controlled by the left and right motors, and from that, 4 are controlled by motors and 2 are spinning freely, including these ones. And now, the reason we chose 6 is because we expect the robot to at least bend in some way in the middle. And we could fix that by adding like a 4x16 here, but that's adding way too much weight, and this robot is already heavy enough. That's the first part. It's controlled by chain mechanism, and the motor is up here. It has a gear ratio of 48 to 24, so that's a ratio of 2:1. So it's pretty fast, but still not fast enough and not strong enough for this robot, considering how heavy it is. And this takes an average of about, let's see, starting from one end of the field to the goal. That's about 3 seconds entirely, and imagine having to go around like that all game. That's gonna take a lot of time. At most, gonna score 20 points, but as you know, our control and finesse is not very good, which is why we ain't gonna get that much points. So that's the base, and that's the intake. What's next? Actually, before I want to go to the shooting mechanism, I want to show you here. This is our third version of this robot. This is our third robot, and this is the third version of that robot. However, we're still building it, and we decided to move quickly to another robot because this one, I don't see a lot of potential in this design, basically. So that's why we're moving. But first, let's look down to what we changed from the second version. The second version, we did not have these for intake. It was just the ball goes in on the floor and suddenly onto the shooter here. So that's one part. And then the second part that we changed are these. Originally, we didn't even have these. It was just a bunch of spaces, and the ball would roll over it. We thought that was smooth enough, but then we realized adding these would help it roll much better and faster. So now let's move on to the actual shooting mechanism. It's not really a shooting mechanism, but there still is one. So let me just demonstrate it to you first. So first it goes into intake. And you can see there's these 2 chains on the side that spin. And basically what it does is I can move the ball up and down. And it's pretty quick because it uses a gear ratio of 48 to 12, so that's literally 4 times the gear ratio. However, it does present some problems, and that is it can't really take in balls very fast, especially when you have 2 balls in the intake. So, like, imagine it's stuck. Imagine right here, sometimes it's hard to control, and yeah. Also, the unfortunate thing is that you can't just roll it up immediately. You have to kind of tilt back a little bit. This was not a problem in our old designs, but it is now. So that's why we're switching. So yeah, you see, if I have 2 balls in there, it's easy to get stuck because the gear ratio does not have a lot of torque. So that's the intake mechanism. This, however, can only go up to level 1. And it's fair to say it's barely able to go up and it's barely able to hit the switch, for example, like this. You see it's very weak and it's barely able to do the job completely. So, wait. So that's the level 1 intake mechanism. But what about the level 2? For this one, we chose this because it was fast, but we need to at least hit this switch because it's important, especially for passing balls around in the game. So how do we do that? We use this. What happens is that at first, normally it's just a slide where it helps assist the ball as it goes up the chain. But the second job you can do is that when the ball is at the very bottom, you have this mechanism right here. This little mechanism right here. It's basically the exact same one as the robot, as the hero bot that Vex provided us. And basically, it spins the pulley until it pulls the string of this all the way down. And when it's all the way down, it holds there until it releases and it shoots up. This can shoot 2 pointers. I'm gonna call them 1 pointer and 2 pointers pretty consistently. It's pretty good, and we only use them two times in a game. One for this, one for that. And so it's not really prioritized and we don't really perfect it that much. But then we realized using a motor for that mechanism only is basically very wasteful. Like we could have much better uses of that. For example, we could add a pneumatic, which is actually what we're trying to do with version number 3. But again, we aren't developing it anymore, so that's sad. So that's about it. And there's also a lining mechanism in the back here that goes straight into this part. So we'll go in and helps align for us to just go into level 1 or shoot into level 2. And this actually has a quite wide range. You can stand from here and actually still get to level 2 or even level 1. And so it's kind of good. But again, the biggest problem is that it's very slow. And maybe that slow speed works when you come going like to passing and that kind of stuff. But it's still slow compared to other robots, other smaller robots, but also get a lot more points. This we tried in skills challenge, driver skills challenge, and we only get most 10 goals out of 10 goals in each match, if we're lucky. Like the average is only 8 or 7, which is why it's very bad. Our next design is going to be a much smaller one, although it's going to be slightly bigger. Well, not really bigger. It's going to be taller, and it's not going to use these. Instead, it's going to have 2 wheels on the side. We're probably going to release a schematic for this one for free because it's such a bad robot and uses a lot of pieces, including V5 metal axles. I think those are allowed, V5 metal axles. And then has some very bad placements, like the brain is at the front for some reason. The motors are in a very bad position for the center of mass. But yeah, I suppose that works. Oh, and also I can't shoot level 2 right now because the rubber band's not there and we're in the middle of switching from motor to pneumatic for that. And so we can't use it and therefore it's just not working. I will add a clip of that after this though.